Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the CVD podcast. Just doing a quick little solo episode today. It's been a few weeks since I've released an episode. I've gotten a couple messages from people just checking in, make sure everything's okay, and yes, everything's all good. Honestly, I was doing a lot of traveling over the last 3 weeks, and I was actually surprising some people when I was back home in Windsor for a little bit, so I wasn't really sharing anything on social media or anything like that. So I guess you guys really haven't known what I've been up to or anything. So I went from, just before we get into the topic of today, just went to Kingston for a few days. I was at an event at a conference, meeting up with one of the people that I went to my undergrad with. His name is Hakeem Subair. He's also been on the podcast. His episode will release soon. He runs a company. He's the CEO of a company called 1 Million Teachers, and they are empowering teachers in Africa to be able to deliver the highest quality education for kindergarten through grade 12. So absolutely amazing mission that they have. Hakeem is an unbelievable person. And the conference that my wife and I were at was absolutely incredible. We got to meet so many amazing people, makes a lot of really interesting and meaningful connections. And we also got to visit a place that we've never been to before. So we were in Kingston for a few days. Shelby, my wife, was actually taking some photos of the event, and it was so much fun. And she has now this giant spark to really get into, her photography more full time. So she's really excited about that. Spent a few days in Kingston, went down to Windsor, Ontario, where I'm from, spent 4 or 5 days there. And like I said, got to see friends and family, a lot of them that I haven't seen in like 3 years. Like my wife and I were back for about a year and a half, we were back in Christmas of 2020. We were in Windsor for about 5 to 6 weeks, but everything was shut down, everything was closed, so I didn't really get to see a lot of people, which was a shame. But we were back at the beginning of June for 4 or 5 days, got to see a lot of people, got to spend so much quality time with people. It was so much fun. I got to record my first in-person podcast with Sierra Parr. She runs Lemon Soul. So she has a Lemon Soul podcast. She also runs a Lemon Soul Labyrinth. So it was weird because I was like in her place, but hosting my podcast. So it was really interesting. That episode is also coming out in a few weeks. After Windsor, I was in Houston for a day and a half, delivering a communication workshop. That's something that I do on the side. And then went back to Boston. I was there for 4 days. I got an ear infection. My wife was sick. Our kitten, Roma, she got her hand stuck in a stepladder and she was dangling from it. So we had to take her to the ER. Spent like $1,000 just to get some x-rays, make sure everything's good. And she's been resting for a few weeks and she's been good. She's at like 95% now. So happy ending there. Wife and I are feeling a lot better. So that's great. And then I went to Edmonton for 3.5 or 4 days. So that was a lot. It was a lot of traveling. It was a lot of amazing things and a lot of really cool experiences. But yeah, a lot of traveling. And I didn't have any time to actually edit podcasts. I wanted to be really present in what I was doing. And I wasn't at a point where I had, 12 episodes edited or anything like that, and they were just going to release on a schedule. I didn't have that set up before I left, and like I said, wanted to be really present with the people that I was spending time with, and also with the communication workshops that I was doing. So here we are, 3 weeks later. We're releasing another short little episode, and I do promise that there are episodes with guests coming out very, very shortly. I'm going to have one released this Thursday, and then back to the regular schedule after that. So really, really excited to bring you guys some incredible conversations that I've had. I'm not hogging them to myself, I promise. But yeah, a lot of work going on behind the scenes, and those episodes will be out shortly. So I hope you're excited. I hope you tune into those episodes, and I hope you send me a message and let me know what you think, because I always love to hear from you guys. in terms of, a story that you really connected with, or somebody who you really relate to, or something that you want to see on the podcast. Maybe there's something that you want to see more of on the podcast. So definitely reach out. Let me know. You can find me at Comfort Via Discomfort on Instagram. You can also email me at hello@comfortviadiscomfort@gmail.com. Did I say that right? No, that's not right. The email is hello@comfortviadiscomfort.com. There we go. I'm still getting used to having my own domain. I've never done that before, so I tend to get that email address wrong, but it's hello@comfortviadiscomfort.com. There we go. Alrighty. Into today's topic, which is what the heck is with the lobster? I started this brand back in 2018, and I don't even remember the first time that I actually added the lobster as the logo, but it didn't take me too long to add that. So I had the lobster for a little bit, and I never really shared the story of it too much. It came up in conversation every now and then. And then I moved to Boston for my master's program in September 2018. And everybody thought I had a lobster because I lived in Boston. I was like, I never thought of that. That's really interesting, but no, that's not the reason. So for those of you watching the video, I've got a little lobster here. I've got a couple just little lobsters hanging around, like little toys, like little squish toys or whatever, just to remind me about the story of this. So the reason why CVD has a little lobster as the logo is because of the way that lobsters grow. And I didn't discover this. I'm not like some marine biologist or something. I just watched a video on YouTube and it really resonated with me. I will link the original video in the description so you guys can go check it out. But essentially, lobsters are these really soft, these really soft, mushy creatures that have a very, very hard shell. Excuse me. And so they have a lot of room in the shell when they're first born, when they're little, and eventually their soft, mushy body grows and grows and grows, and it pushes against the shell, and eventually it pushes so hard against the shell that the lobster gets super, super uncomfortable, and it is kind of forced to go and hide from predators, shed the shell, grow a new one with more room, so that it is comfortable again, right? So that it has more room to grow. And this cycle happens over and over and over again throughout its life. And that's how lobsters get bigger. And the moral of the story is that the stimulus for the lobster to grow is actually discomfort, right? If the lobster never experienced the discomfort of its soft, mushy body pushing against its shell, then it would never shed the shell and grow a new one with more room. So that's why I thought that the lobster was the perfect little animal to put on the Comfort Via Discomfort logo, because it's all about discomfort, right? It's all about pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone to experience new things, so that you experience this discomfort, and that's what allows you to grow. If you just stay in one place and stay comfortable based on whatever life that you are living, you'll grow a little bit, but you're not going to evolve as much as you potentially could, right? And you're never going to reach that full potential. You're never going to really see what you can do. So it's all about experiencing discomfort. So that's why I've got a little lobster as a logo, and that's why I have a couple little lobster toys on my desk to remind me about that story. And there's a number of different things that a lot of inspiration that you can find in nature. One of my friends, Dr. Andrea DiNardo from back in Windsor, I believe it was in her TED Talk that you can find online. I'll also link it in the description. She mentions palm trees, actually. And she says that, obviously in a storm, you see that these palm trees are bending like crazy because the winds are so strong. But they bend, but they don't break. And actually what's happening is that when a palm tree is bent like that, afterwards it's actually stronger than it was before. So it's kind of like a muscle, right? When you work out, your muscle breaks down and then it repairs itself and it becomes stronger and stronger. That's why your muscles get bigger. That's why you get stronger. It's the same thing with palm trees, right? So there's a number of different inspirations that you can find in nature. One of my podcast guests, Lily, episode 9, she mentions be a dragonfly because they are the most agile creatures on the planet and they're able to pivot in 6 different directions like nothing. And so she says, be a dragonfly, right? Execute on your goals, like have a plan and execute on your goals, but be willing to adjust and adapt as life throws changes at you. So there's countless ways that you can find inspiration through nature and different things, and the lobster is just one of them. And I thought I'd just throw a little bit of other inspiration with the palm tree and the dragonfly as well. So let me know what kind of inspiration that you find in nature, whether it's an animal, whether it's trees, whether it's plants, whatever it is. Let me know. Send me a message or comment on the Instagram video or whatever it is. Let me know, because like I said, countless ways that we can be inspired by a number of different things in the world. So let me know what inspires you or who inspires you, and have a great day.